So it's another unboxing video. This time it's for the Obsidian, Corsair Obsidian series 450D. This is the high airflow MIDI tower case, and it has a roomy interior that's optimized for airflow, it says. On the box there's a breakdown of the various parts. Apart from that, it's just your standard brown box. So let's get the box open. To sharpen the knife. Okay, nice. Here's a tip for getting cases out of boxes. Don't try and lift it out. Just turn the box upside down and then take the box off. The only thing you've got to watch out for are the little handhold bits. So these sort of bits here, where you put your hands in to carry it, you reach in and just lift those out, and then the case should just lift off. The box should just lift off the case effortlessly. Similarly, for when you're taking the polystyrene off, just tip it over, it lifts off. And while you're there, you can do that. First thing to notice is that there's a mesh, quite a big mesh. It's magnetic for the bottom area, so there's quite a big mesh there. And that's rather pleasingly, that's magnetic. So now we just flip it over. It's not that heavy compared to some other cases. There we are, and there's that on the top. Little instruction book and a warranty document. Put that to one side. So on the top, not the camera a bit there. On the top, there's the radiator area. There's a mesh. It's quite fine mesh. Wouldn't say it was a filter. It's sort of filtery. It would catch the larger chunks, but I wouldn't say it was a very fine filter. But that covers at the top radiator area, and that's got quite a big area, enough for three fans. You can have quite big ones. We'll get the measurer out in a minute and find out. Side panel is clear. It's got a bit of plastic on it to protect it. Quite a sizable side panel. The front is also protected by a little bit of plastic. That's the on-off switch, I think. And then that's the reset. Headphone, microphone, 2 USB 3. So we'll just take this off. It's held on with masking tape. It's just a little bit of plastic sheet. And there's the front there. And the camera's in slightly the wrong place for that. So we'll just take the camera off its mount, and then we'll have a closer look at it. So you've got two fans, nice big ones. Where's my ruler? Just get my ruler out and we'll measure them. Here we are. So here's the ruler. They are 140 mils. So you've got two 140 mils there. On the top, for the measuring for your radiator, those are, how big are they? those are 105. That's not actually a size, is it? So those are going to be 120. 1, 2, 3 120s, and you've got those are slightly bigger. Yeah, so you can fit a double radiator in or a triple radiator in, which is kind of nice. That's where your drive bays. You've got 2 drive bays. I'll just put the camera back in the mount, and I'll get the side panel off like that. It's got rubber feet, so you can't shove it and slide it. You have to lift it to move it. Undo a couple of screws here. Thumb screws. Side panel comes off. That's the side panel off. And then inside we have another fan. That one looks like 120 mils. So 120 mil fan at the back. So 2 140s and a 120. 2 drive bays there for optical drives if you still use one, which you do. You have to make any discs up. A little box of bits, little drive trays there. They're SSD compatible because if you can see, there's 4 holes there, so you can fit your SSDs in there as well as standard drives. I say standard, SSDs beyond the standard, isn't it really? Here's a little box of bits, so let's just see what's in there. This has got... It's nice how they get the box that fits into the drive, because then it's not wrapped around inside. So I like the way Corsair do that, because they do that for all their cases. A couple of cable ties, some screws, some big fan screws, and motherboard screws. Yeah, little tiny screws there as well. So you got your standard screws for your optical drive, your motherboard risers, which are already fitted, and for some fans. There's also a collection of cables here for the USB 3 and front mounted audio, and then you've got your reset and your LEDs and your power there. Quite long, obviously they reach down to the bottom. This tray here I think comes out. There's a couple of screws there, so that comes out. You've got actual back plates rather than bits that you bend and snap out. So there's actual plates in the back, which is something that I like to see. So let's just have a little look around the other side so we can see some cable management stuff. That's a little bit stiff, but then it's new, so that's fine. I'll just lean that against that one, flip it round. So there's an SSD mount at the back here as well. 2 of those. I'll take the camera off and we'll have a closer look. So, if you can see them, not very well lit up. It's quite a dark day here, but they're basically the size of an SSD, and it clicks in. It clicks in, and there's a little springy bit, so that holds it. So you haven't got to screw them in. There is actually a little thing there. Not really sure what the point of that is. There's one on the other side as well. Maybe that will help to hold it, but once the SSD's in, that little spring will push it against there anyway. So you can feed the SSD. You can feed the SSD power and data cables around the back. Not really sure the point of that is, but I think if you've got water cooling for both the GPU and for the CPU, or you've got a big radiator loop, then you might want to put the radiator at the front rather than at the top, or do both, and that means that this tray would go, and then you'd obviously have problems about where your SSD goes. Now if you buy a new motherboard, of course it's got the M.2, then that doesn't matter, because obviously the M.2 is on the actual motherboard itself. So the fact that this comes out is going to come in very handy for the build I've got in mind for this one. Still got some drives to fit in it, but I might fit those in there depending on how we get on. So that's the 450D. It's quite a sizable case. It's quite short. It's not the world's biggest, tallest case. See if we can get this in. It's a bit fiddly. Oh no, there we are. That's a bit rattly, but that's okay. And then there's this magnet thing here that sits on the top. Quite like that, because from a distance you can't tell there's a hole there, because it just looks like it's black. There's the box of bits. Put that back in there. Thumb screws. So all in all, it's a quite a robust case. It's quite a nice looking case. I don't see any obvious manufacturing defects. There's some nice little rubber grommety bits there for cable management. Because it's got a side panel, obviously how it looks is going to be important to some people. So yeah, any questions, any comments, stick them in the comments, and I hope that's a helpful video. This case will be making a reappearance in a later video when I fit some bits into it. So thanks for watching.